Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Hello, folks. Gee whiz. Welcome again to Oregon Voters Digest. I'm Bruce Broussard, your host. Again, another segment where we will be informing you and educating you about issues that are affecting us here in the Portland metropolitan area and right up front with you nationwide, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, and so thanks you for joining us. And our guest today is Pastor, or you can call her Pastor or Elder Sheila Scott. She's wears many hats, trust me, and she's really into community. I mean, not just in Portland, but throughout the country, throughout the world, for that matter. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, a person that has that much energy to go out there and involve herself. And the only other entity that I can think about is some guy, Oregon Voters Digest or something. I don't know who this guy is, because I'm not personally identified. Is what I sit in. That's all. And so my point, I take credit for it to a certain degree because I'm on that same track. You know, trying to help folks. You know, just trying to help people across the board. And sometimes some people take it a little bit more personal and not, but trust me, I understand it. I've been there before, and even all of my guests are basically in the same venue as far as I'm concerned. They're doing something, focusing on issues, trust me. And there's a name to carry, and I respect that. And a lot of times I give them the opportunity to identify that personality side, but the rest of the show is on the issue that they represent. And that's what I do, okay? So, having said that, I want to welcome you again. And my guest is, again, the Elder Sheila Scott. Sheila Scott, and we've been knowing one another for a number of years here in the Portland metropolitan area. We've crossed bases on many ways, yes. And she's still busy. And in fact, she and I have a relationship in regards to this nonprofit. As far as veterans are concerned, she's very much involved with veterans. She gives me a call whenever there's a veteran in need of benefits, knowing what their benefits are, and she's very familiar with the fact that I'm an executive director of a nonprofit called No Veterans Left Behind Oregon, and that's really great. I mean, something that I like doing. But besides that, but the fact of the matter is, I'm working with her, and trust me, she's good, and she represents all folks that I know of, all veterans for that matter, and non-veterans, in all due respect, because she's kind of like in that medical profession. As a layperson, I'm just looking at some of the other things that she does. Medical profession, I mean, she's had many hats. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to quit talking and bring her on board right now, and let's see if we can get this thing open, and you'll get to see what the elder does, and we'll just go right down the line and just have her talk about herself to start with. Give yourself about 4 or 5 minutes and just share with them about who is Sheila, yes, and how she got to Portland, Oregon, and how she got in these other endeavors. Okay, Sheila?
Yes.
Welcome
thank
aboard.
you. Thank you, Bruce, for having me.
Sure enough.
Today. It's great to be here. I'm excited because I love people. And I especially have a calling on my life, which is seniors. So I am a senior advocate. I grew up here in Portland, Oregon, with my 4 sisters. My mother raised us here in the north area of Portland, the Unthanked Park area. And as an adult, I drove TriMet for 20 years. And then I got into the healthcare field. Not intentionally, it just fell in my lap. But I have been advocating for seniors and veterans, going on over 15 years. One of the things, I am a care provider. I have looked at opening an adult care home for seniors and veterans, so they would have a great quality of life. Because one of my things is, as you're aging, living your golden life, I believe that you should have a great quality of life. It's not living just to be inside of a 4-wall day after day after day. You know, some seniors, as they're aging, you know, nobody comes and visit them. Their families don't come and see about them, or they call them on the phone and they tell them they're going to come pick them up, take them to the grocery store, do this, do that. And they have them sitting there waiting for days and days and days. And they're expecting them to pick them up, but they never come. They never show. And one of the things, Bruce, we're all going to get older. If you keep on living. The seniors say, keep on living. If you keep getting up, by and by, one day, you're going to get older and you're going to need somebody too. So I advocate for seniors, not only just going out to see about them, making sure they have everything they need, also for their health. It's imperative that when they go to the doctors, you know, as you get older, that's a weekly routine. If not weekly, you go a couple times a month. They need someone to go to the doctors with them. It's not good for them to go alone because they may not remember everything that the doctors tell them to do. They may not remember diagnosis. They may not remember medications or how they need medication management. They need some help, you know. And so it's important, everybody, not just one person. You know, it's amazing to me how two parents can have 10 kids and not one of them show up, or only one of them show up. They had more than one child. So we have to do better. They say when you know better, you do better. But I don't like that phrase because there's a whole lot of people know that they have diabetes, but they still eating cookies. So it's not always that you know better, you do better. Just do the right thing and check on them. Call them on the phone. You know, take 5-10 minutes out your day. Call auntie, call uncle. How you doing today? How was your day? It don't take all of your life to make these tasks help. And not only that, teach your children because they're growing up too and they don't see you visiting auntie and uncle. And so what make you think they gonna go and visit auntie and uncle? And one thing I can say about my children, when my grandmother was living, my daughter, all the time, she went to see about my grandmother. My grandmother lived to be 93. So that encourages me, you know, it's very important that we do a better job with seniors. You know, a lot of them, some of them don't eat well. Some of them don't have the necessities that they need to have. There are so many programs out here. There is so much resources, Bruce. They have resources here in the state of Oregon or Portland, Oregon. I don't know about the whole state, but I know in Portland, if you are a homeowner and you have some issues with making your mortgage, there's resources out here to help you get your bills paid. There's resources for seniors to get their utilities paid. They have aging and disability. Call them. It's a county business, and I will give you a number, but I don't want to inundate one location. So whatever location you live in, Multnomah County, Clark County, Washington County, whatever county you live in, look in the phone book or Google, whatever you do, and call to get help. Help out your people because they only have some resources. Their resources are very limited, and they need their bills taken care of, their light bills, their gas bill, the water bill, stuff like that. You know, they have organizations that help cut grass. They have organizations, that remodel homes, give you a new roof. If you in need for a new roof, don't just sit there letting your roof leak and messing up the inside of the home. There are programs free that provide you a new roof, new gutters. If you are a senior or disabled, they are PCRI. Call them. They can help you. There's programs. If you're not a homeowner and you're renting, look at becoming a homeowner because rent is going to continue to climb. Rent, let me say it again. Rent is going to continue to climb. So if you're a homeowner, your mortgage will stay the same unless you take out a refi. If you become a homeowner, Right now, I know the interest rates are going wacko.
Yep.
But you could prepare yourselves. You got 3 things to do: get your taxes in order,
Yep.
get your job economic situation in order, and also get your credit lined up. You can get a free bureau from all 3 bureaus. Do it every year. Pull a bureau and make sure everything on there belongs to you. Okay? So
Wow, that's quite an entree. But I was listening. Okay, and then and some of the things that like you said, a lot of these things when they go to doctors, for instance, they're going to need that help, and they go at least once a week, or at least if not twice a week, for that matter. And a lot of times they don't have transportation, and then they get frustrated, and they just don't call. Got me? And like you said, the county is normally the number one. It sits on the list, and a lot of times there's a general number there. You just call that number.
Yes.
And then tell them this is what, regardless of what the problem is, tell them what it is, and tell them to direct me to someone to talk to. That's one thing. And I'm gonna lobby you right now for the doctors, if you will. When the patient goes over to you, if they're elderly, 70 over 70. When does everything sort of falls down and you can't remember? What age you think about?
There is no age bearing. I know a young man, matter of fact, was my age.
Yes.
That
You want to tell us
had Alzheimer's.
You want to tell us his age?
Oh no! Nobody needs to know that.
Well, you said a young man.
Well, I'm not even 60, but you know what I'm saying.
You're not 60, okay.
I've known people in their 50s to get Alzheimer's or dementia, and it all depends on your health. I know a person that was on dialysis. Dialysis causes a memory loss, and also chemo causes a memory loss. So there's all types of things that can cause.
So the age is sometimes it doesn't matter.
No.
But you get to the point, like you said, you forget things. You go to a doctor's office, doctor's talking pretty fast, and he say you need this, you need this, you need this, this. And like you said, a lot of times they don't write it. In the old days, they used to write it down and give you the paper. They don't do that today to a certain degree, right?
Well, what they do is they only give you 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And if you have a lot of things that you want to discuss with the doctor, maybe you have a pain in your side, or you got a pain in your foot or your back or whatever, by the time the doctor comes in, you've forgotten. They talking to you and you have forgot what you want to talk to them about. So it's important when you know you have a doctor's appointment coming up, maybe for a couple weeks, take a piece of paper and write down questions that you have to talk to your doctor about. Maybe you had an earache, or maybe you experienced some hurt and some pain, or maybe you constipated. Whatever your issue is, write it down, put it on paper, and don't forget to take the paper with you and discuss those things with the doctors. Now they have the My Chart now. Everything is technology, so you can also
My Chart. What is that? They got a chart in there. And you point.
My Chart. Bless your heart.
What are you talking about?
My Chart is technology.
So
you can talk. You can have a virtual doctor's appointment with you. You can sit at home and actually have an appointment with your doctor on a Zoom.
And you can take your time.
No, you can't take your time. They still have a time limit.
How you gonna Zoom somebody? Somebody gonna Zoom.
Who's zooming who? No, you don't get. You get a limited time. It might be 30 minutes. I don't know. It may still be 15 minutes. But they have what's called a My Chart, and you sign up for the My Chart, and you can conversate with doctors through emailing. But it's a private, the HIPAA law, so it's in a secure system, which is called the My Chart.
But Pastor, when you start making that tech piece aspect of it, a lot of these folks don't even own computers.
And that's true.
And then the definition of computers, they change every other month, and then you got to buy another one. By the time you learn how to do that, and everybody's making money. Yes. And the patient, and you had mentioned about the person that died, what, 92 or 93 years old, and people were visiting. The family was visiting them. Well, that's why they probably lived that long, because because folks were visiting them and they were able to talk to someone.
Oh yes.
Because when I think about when a doctor, unlike now myself, I'm a very kind of an active guy, and the bottom line is that when I go to a doctor's office, I'm not sitting there trying to talk about all the other news things, if you will. I get right down to my issues.
Yes.
But a lot of the scenes when they go, they've not talked to anybody. So when the doctor walks in, they want to just talk about to the doctor.
Yes.
You know, they say, yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. And here this person is 85 years old or 90 years old, and he's talking to a young doctor, and he's saying yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. Give me a break. It should be just the opposite. I mean, the doctors need to understand. They need to be a little bit more responsive to let them know who they are, because they pretty well know that the person is ill, and they're in the front, and they got to get well. So deal with the issues. Deal with the issues. And like I said, give them something to go back. If not that, give them a video.
Yes.
And that would be a neat deal if they just gave them a video and asked them point blank, do you happen to have a TV at home? Okay, you have a TV? Okay, fine. We're gonna instruct the agency over here to deliver a TV that all you do is just punch the button, and it reviews back and forth the visit that you had with me, telling you to do this, that, and the other. And you can also share that with maybe other family members that come to make sure. I mean, my point is that to me, it's just common sense stuff, you know, because we do have an issue with seniors or people forgetting. Here we go again.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're saying seniors are forgetting, but young folks are forgetting. And it's so easy for a person 25 or 35 or 45 or 55 to say they're young. You see, and I'm not gonna be no 65. And the next thing you know, they're sitting up there. They don't know where to go. They don't know where to go. They don't have a place to live. I mean, there's a lot of seniors that are homeless. Would you say that are just sitting in a facility or sitting at a home? That can be homeless too. Know I mean?
Yes, it can.
And they're sitting in an environment that's not clean, and the service is there. We've talked about that.
Yes.
And even vets, for that matter. I mean, I remember this one particular guy who was a veteran, and when Norma had her kitchen up there, he'd always come by and get himself a catfish dinner. You know what I mean? And he'd drive his Cadillac up there, and he stands by the door there in his Cadillac, he blows the horn, and he says, give me some of them Cadillac and them greens, and give me some stuff together, and then I take it over to the car aspect of it. And you know, he shouldn't have been driving. You see me? He shouldn't have been driving aspect of it. But he had that. But he had that enthusiasm, that piece to take it down there. That was a very active thing, and I didn't change it. And he kept coming. But then I was surprised to think about if I went home with him, how his conditions living at home.
Yes.
I mean, was totally. I mean, I went in there. It was just sad. It was just really sad. And here, this guy, he had gotten a Silver Star as a Marine. And you know, he fought in wars and whatever, and there was no one there to see him. Wow. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I'm involved in the whole issue with the veterans aspect of it, because we too have, you know, I go to these agencies. I don't stop at the desk. I go right up front.
Yes.
And just say, look, I'm the veteran. I got his last four. Let's talk some business. I call you up and you respond.
Yes.
Right up front when you respond, and you know I talk to them straight up. And then I'm just like a first sergeant when they get me over the phone. they better listen to what I have to say, because in all due respect, a lot of them they're ill and they have problems, and you got to be a little bit more authoritative. You got to treat them like an equal, so to speak.
Exactly.
And I think that doesn't let them down. If you start playing that other game, hey, wait a minute, what'd you say? Well, didn't you hear me? You don't make those kinds of statements. You know, yes sir. What's up? Whatever you need. What else do you need? What about this? A good example. The guy called me up day before yesterday, for that matter, and he was sitting up at home. He said, "I got your card. You gave me your card whenever you're at the VA." And he says, "Yeah, I'm over here. My wife's not with me now anymore. She left. I mean, we've been together about 40 years." And you know, and she just walked off, and she just left, and I'm here. We were from New York. We thought we'd come down to Portland, Oregon, and we're hurting. I'm hurting. I'm by myself. I've been operated on in the VA, and they won't take care of me. I've been drinking, and I don't feel good about that, Bruce. And just on and on and on. And I said, wait a minute, I tell you what, well, let me give you this number. I gave him the crisis line number, the 911 number. And I said, now, here's this number. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call them up first. Give me your last four.
Okay.
So I took his last four, and I called up the crisis, and I told him who I was. And then I told him what the situation was. And then I said, look, he's going to call you, blah, 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 routine. And by the way, here's his number if he doesn't call you, because I'm going to call you back. So I hung up, and I got to him and had him call them.
Yes.
And call them and talk to them about that solution. He just wanted to get back. He's ready to lose his home, his rent deal, and he wants to go back to New York where he had some family there. I just want to go back home where I was and find a place, and I need an airline ticket or a bus ticket or whatever. I just need to get home, and it really hurts you, And so I after I got through doing that piece, I made sure I stayed on top of it, and he spoke to the guy. And the guy, he said, Bruce, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump on it real quick and I'm going to get it squared away. If I don't call you back, I'm still on it, and I'm going to take care of it. And I said, well, look, and the other thing, by the way, call me back once you get it done. And so I called him up, the other guy up, and I said, look, you pick up that phone and take this number and call right now.
Yes.
And then we hung up, and then I called him right back again. You ain't on the phone. I said, you ain't on the phone. What the hell's going on? I got that good language on him.
Yes.
That he knows, you know what I'm saying? I put the word on him. So I'm just saying, it might be work, but that's what we got to do.
Yes.
And I know that's the kind of work that you're in, and I'm not trying to take over the subject matter, but we're talking about seniors.
Yes.
We're talking about all the folks we're gonna all reach that age. Naturally, the more money you got, the more long life you might be able to live, because you can then buy your services. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But majority of us seniors don't have that, and we need to understand that. But also, the serving public needs to understand that.
Yes.
You got me? And here we are talking about homeless issues and whatever, and you don't see seniors. You don't see seniors that sitting up there in the huts and whatever and this, that, and that, but they're there.
Yes.
They're there. And a lot of them are just sitting in their own home. And the man is sitting there and got that home on a block getting ready to buy it.
Yes.
And going through the kids to get the house.
Exactly.
And I'm going through that when I was trying to do the housing things for folks. It was sad to see a senior citizen gotten to the point where they paid for the house, and the kids are coming in and forcing them to refinance the house, take all the money out, and then once the money's out, they don't have the money to pay the utilities and this, that, and the other, because they got to pay that other piece that they had been paying every day. And then all of a sudden, the man comes in and says, "Hey, your house is being sold on the step of the court.
Foreclosure.
And you got to take cash to get it. And only the rich could actually force the rich deal. See, you know what I mean? Nobody comes in and try to make sure that they can stay in that house. So that's another issue that's there. So I just wanted to make sure I wanted to have you come on, because that's what you do. And then the medical thing, I think about the one with on the island there, and here's a gentleman that I've been knowing, and he was always claiming selling cars and this, that, and the other, but he had conditions, he had problems, and he didn't have his benefits, and as a result of that, my getting involved with him, then he found out he had a heart problem. He didn't have the money initially to afford it, but then when he got in and we took him through the process, then he just go to the VA. You get all the benefits you want.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And they'll examine it, this and that. All you have to do is have your social security card number. That's your ID number.
Yes.
The military changed all of that business about numbers. All you have to do is remember your social security number. The federal government want to make sure you send them taxes in, so you got your number. So, and then like I said, if you need to fill your taxes out, there's a service at the VA. That they will call you and fix your taxes, do all your taxes.
Yes.
And then tell you, just on. I'm just saying on and on and on. But that 911 number is very important. I was gonna say, hey, look at me, I'm pulling out my cards again. That's back there. See what I'm saying?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I know an attorney that does taxes for veterans. He's in Colorado. I think he's in Denver, Colorado. But I have access to him also. I want to say to people, because maybe people don't know. We used to assume that people know things, and a lot of times they don't know. So I want to reach out and say, if you are a senior or a person with disabilities, you have benefits that you may not know you have. You can call the aging and disability in your local area.
County.
Yes, your county. Whatever county you live in, Multnomah County, Washington County, Clark County, whatever county you are in, look in Google. No more, some of us use Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
But you can call aging and disability. If you have a disability, it doesn't matter what age you are. If you are a senior, there are benefits to provide you with a care provider to come in home to help you with your ADA, which is your daily living tasks. It could be cooking or a meal prep. It could be medication management. It could be cleaning for you or helping you with grocery shopping or transportation. Some companies provide transportation. Also, the veterans provide a program. The veterans have a program for anyone that is a veteran. You can have someone come into your home and clean for you, grocery shop, and help you with the same task. Medication management, help you with cleaning your home, and it depends on you. It depends on your income, whether you have Medicaid or Medicare, and they will help you and walk you through that process. Just call and tell them you need to be assessed. You need to be assessed to get services. There's programs through other agencies like Urban League. There's a senior Hollywood Senior here in Portland, Oregon. They also provide services, and it's based upon your income. Is based upon whether you have Medicare or Medicaid. And let me tell you, I have run into seniors that need to have Medicaid or Medicare and they never apply for it. And so I want you to know that you have benefits. If you need incontinent products, I believe at one time.
What is that? Incontinent?
That's if you need bed pads or Depends or all those type of products. Aging and disability. At one point, I don't know if they changed it since the COVID. So I'm giving you information that I know, but with COVID, some things change. There wasn't an $800 allotment for each person. Now, just talk to your caseworker. If you've ever gone into the hospital, maybe for a broken leg, maybe you had a UI, a urinary tract situation, or broke your leg, whatever you went into the hospital for. If you've been in the hospital, you have a caseworker. Call the Aging and Disability and ask to speak with your caseworker. You can also apply for SNAP, for food stamps. And I believe for seniors, they get a cash amount instead of grocery amount, food. You can also ask for the caseworker. And I'll tell you, sometimes, I'm just going to say, sometimes you get caseworkers that don't even know some of this information that I'm giving you. So if somebody tells you no, ask to speak to someone else, because that means you're not talking to the right person. That's right. They don't have the right information. And as we know, jobs have been overturned. People have new people in jobs and they don't know what's going on. So I'm telling you what's going on. Talk to somebody that knows. And if they say no, ask to speak to someone else. Right. Ask to speak to a supervisor.
Right.
And if you don't feel like doing it because you're a senior, and I get it, you're tired and you don't want to sit on the phone with these automated phones, and you want to talk to a human being, then get somebody in your family to help you make a phone call. You can call them on the phone and say, honey, auntie, grandma, whatever, I need you to make a call for me, and this is what I need, and have someone help you. Now, I will tell you, if you have someone call and you're not present, they will not give them information. So you will have to call them and give them permission to speak with that person. because they cannot give out any information.
Right,
They will need your last four,
Right,
your
right,
address,
right.
your birthday.
Right.
But help yourself by getting someone to help you. And I will say this, one of the things, Bruce, I teach a
Right.
course on a platform that I'm a part of, which is called XI Now. It's a worldwide academy.
XI.
No, 1111.
Okay.
XI
Okay, all right.
XI Now.
Okay.
And it's Success Academy worldwide. It was founded by Dr. Terrence Van Wilson out of Selma, Alabama. And on this platform, I teach a course. It's called Getting Your Business in Order. And what this course is, I teach about putting your business in order, whether it be a will, a trust, whether it be your final plans of life, maybe it be your funeral plans, and helping you to figure out how to fund it, talking about life insurance or universal index. A lot of us don't know about universal index. There is insurance that will pay you if you are ill. So you will have to talk to an insurance adjuster. And if they don't have the information, then that means you need to call somebody else that has the information, because there are many people that have the information for universal index, life insurance, final plans. And also, I spoke with an insurance agent. You know, somebody told me that if a person is incarcerated, you cannot get insurance for them. That is not true. You can get a small policy for a person that's incarcerated, and if something happens, you have some funds to be able to give them a respectful burial. So we have to get out here in the trenches and learn things. I am also a part of OMA, which is Oregon Memorial Association. It was formerly called Funeral Consumers Alliance. It was started a nonprofit by a couple, a husband who lost his wife here in Oregon. And when he went to bury his wife, Bruce, the amount for the funeral was going to cost him a whole year's worth of salary. And so he started a program, which is OMA, Oregon Memorial Association. You can Google it. They provide services to help you save money. I have helped many seniors here in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, have a funeral for $3,000. That includes everything, the casket, everything, transportation, for pickup of the remains, dressing, the last shower, all of that, a church funeral. But I will tell you, that was through Riverview Funeral Home, which they no longer have the contract. And it's so much to learn. But I will tell you that funeral services is contracted. So if one funeral home is really busy, they can contract the work to a memorial funeral. So it's not, or where we used to have Cox Funeral Home and Vans, and we no longer have those funeral homes. There is one that has a contract, Rose City Cemetery on Fremont. That's Fremont. Yes, they have a contract with OMA, and also the name just slipped my mind, but it's in Boring, Oregon, and I'll come back. The owner her name is Elizabeth. Whew, talking about getting old and forgetting stuff.
Better call this number.
But yes, so I try to educate myself about these services. And she gives in Boring, Oregon. She gives a great discount. Now let me go back and tell you about the training that I do on XI Now Success Academy worldwide. I teach an 8-week class on getting your business in order. And that will be coming up here in 2 weeks at the end of March. It's on a Wednesday. I believe that's the 27th. You can Google XI Now Success Academy Worldwide. Okay. And the founder, once again, is Dr. Terrence Van Wilson of Selma, Alabama.
Are you talking for seniors only? Or
oh, that's for anybody. We have a program for kids teaching children how to be. We teach. It's an academy, and we have different classes that teach you how to become whole. There's a doctor on there that teaches. A lot of things are a mindset. Sometimes people got the wrong thought about something, and they need to get their mind right. And so the doctor teaches a wholeness empower class on the platform. I think he has 3 different classes. He has a next level and he has a higher level, but you start at the beginning, and if you go through that, he teaches also vets that have PTSD to help them overcome PTSD and to be able to be settled down and be able to function, like we all do. Some of us, with all the things going on in the world, we all need counseling. We all need somebody to talk to. But see, the problem is, it's the person you're talking to. If you're talking to the wrong person that's giving you, that's why the Bible say in Psalms, the book of Psalms 1, the first division, it tells you, blessed is a man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. You got to get to the person that's going to give you some sound counseling. If you go to the wrong person, that's not going to help you. You're just going to be messed up even more. It's like calling your family members with a bunch of drama, and they got a bunch of drama. Are they helping you solve the problem, getting over the issue? No, they're helping add to the issue. So if you want peace in your life, you want to be made whole, check out XI Now. We have a doctor on there that teaches. I'll tell you, it has 5 topics. The wholeness is financial, spiritual, social, physical, and let me see. Financial, we have a financial dean. We have a physical dean on there. We have a social dean. We have a my mind is going blank. That's why we write stuff down, right?
A lot of information.
5, if you want to be made whole, spiritual, financial, social.
Anyway, you got 5 of them.
Yes, it's 5. Number. Call that number, Google it, check it out. Because if you want to be made whole, you can come on the platform. Whatever you need, we got it. Come on the platform.
Is there a cost involved?
There is a minor monthly cost, but you can come on the platform free. We do have freemium classes. We call them freemium. Wholeness. And you can come on there free and check out some of the freemium classes. Then we have some upper classes that you pay a small fee monthly, every 4 weeks, and you can get the next level, classes that will help you.
Okay, a lot of times, when we got in this tech age, like you're saying, people get hacked a lot of times just for the money. You got my point? And then they'll go to that entity, and a lot of times they've got just enough money to exist.
Yes.
And then because someone tells them in a good way that you need this, they'll spend the money to that piece, thinking maybe that ain't so and so's gonna give them some little money, or the kid's gonna give them some money, or get this done, and he doesn't get it, and the next thing you know, this other thing goes in a default aspect of it, and then bang, here we go again, lien on your house.
Yeah, no.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is that something that? And I'm just throwing that out because it is an issue. So hopefully the entity that we're talking about right now understands that.
Yes.
So to make sure that if in fact they're going to be coming up with some money to help them out on this end over here to make sure that they ask these questions. Now,
Yes.
where's this money coming from? You know, that type of thing. Make sure that they legitimately. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
It's a
I
very
do.
important. And then I guess the other side of the coin is it was the veterans, because a lot of times there's some veterans, very few, but a lot of times because they're not knowledgeable, they have access to all these services too.
Yes.
Big time. Got me? Doesn't cost a dime.
Yes.
Got me? And then the other thing it does is that it also helps you with your benefits.
Yes.
I mean, you can get a retirement check.
Yes,
if you
that's
will,
right.
From the VA. If you all you do is just stand in line again. That's but it's free. You
Yeah.
got me? So I'm gonna give you a couple numbers right while you're talking. I'm gonna let you get right back. Multnomah County. You can call Multnomah County at 503-988-3646. That's the senior citizen line.
Yes.
And you can ask them anything. Look, I can't poop. Anything. Look, I'm you know the French. I was embarrassed the other day because I'm at that age now, and I urinated on myself. I'm sitting there, went to the store, and I urinated. I potted, and I didn't know what to do, and it was embarrassing. I'm at the store or something like that. Well, guess what? You can go down. You call them up and say, I got a problem.
Yes.
And someone will call you back up. As you said, they got stuff that they can send you packages of this, that, and the other, or they'll give you something if you had if your stool was pretty tough, and they'll give you the pills necessary. It didn't cost you a dime. Now Multnomah County, that's the aging deal. The other one for the military folks, and that's the crisis line, and all you need there is that phone number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, 1-800-273-8255, and you can press the number 1, and that person will come on. It's 24/7. So if you got any problems, you know what I mean, from the standpoint of whether it's suicide or anything like that, because you'll be able to talk to a very professional person on that other end. And the good thing about it, and then all you need is your last four. Now, if a friend is there with you or whatever, you can give them your last four. And as long as you throw that last four in there, they'll listen to what you have to say about the other entity who might be in problems. So if the person is sitting up there homeless, or he's sitting up there urinating on the streets or something like that, and he's a real vet, and I'm not talking about the ones that holds the sign up and not a vet, because that cat's trying to eat too. And he's basically picking his it. Once you get that last four, then you can do something. Because I've stopped right in the middle of traffic when I've seen people with signs. I just stop them in the middle of traffic, and I go and say, "Well, show me your card. Let me call the crisis line. You got the last four? What are you talking about? Well, man, you got to get off the street." You know what I'm saying? But I mean, but at the same time, I don't turn the person off from the standpoint of saying,
Yes.
"Okay, look, I know he's trying to eat." I say, "Well, look here, I'll tell you what. Let me take you over here." And right in front, sometimes I'll even see a cop, and I'll go drive up to the cop and say, "Look, take this man down here and help him out." But like you, I'm just throwing that out, because you got so much stuff that you're involved with, Sheila. And but the services are there for seniors. And let me ask you that other deal about what age should it be seen. I mean, you say you constantly saying people the aging, the elderly and whatever. What is that number? What is it? 60, 70,
Well,
80, 85? What is it? What number?
You mean aging and disability?
Right.
I believe it's at 55. You are beginning to, used to be AARP
Right.
once you hit 50.
Right.
I was excited. I couldn't wait to turn 50 to get my
Right.
AARP card.
Right.
So I felt like I was a senior at 50.
Right.
But, I guess some places you a senior at 55 and some places recognize it at 62.
But they can call the county and ask, right?
Sure.
You
The
just
county
tell them
can
how
do
old
that.
you are, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and,
yeah.
And if you still have a need, the county will direct you to another number, right?
Definitely. Well, like I said, if you've ever been to the hospital, you have a caseworker.
Right.
A lot of times people don't know that. I helped out many seniors were in the building my mom lived in, and I would say, "Did you talk to your caseworker?" They say, "I don't have a caseworker." I say, "You just got out of the hospital. You have a caseworker." So a lot of times people don't know about certain things. So if you've been to the hospital for a headache, you have a caseworker. Call Aging and Disability, give them your last four, your birthday, and tell them you want to speak to your caseworker. And your caseworker should help you with anything that you need. Now, we know as well as anything, sometimes we get people that don't always do the best job. So when you get somebody like that, talk to somebody else. Now I want to say also, Bruce, I'm excited to I'm working on being a real estate mogul.
Okay.
And so I want to say, because one of the things, Bruce, when I moved back here from Atlanta, I was so disheartened when I saw, I would say, when I saw so many seniors losing their homes, you know, in our culture. Millions and millions of dollars of homes right here in Portland, Oregon. The senior passes away, everybody that's their child wants their coin.
Yep.
Give me my quarter.
Yep.
Give me my nickel. I understand that. But I have learned that the best thing for families to do whatever you want to do. But if you want to build generational wealth, put your home in a trust. If you know you have children on drugs or have a child that's have mental health or whatever the case is, put your home in a trust. A will can be challenged and revoked. So one of the kids can say, well, my mom was going through dementia or Alzheimer's. So judge, I want to challenge that will.
And they can do that.
And they have to allow them to go through court. But if you put your home in a trust, nobody cannot challenge what your trust is. You have a right to say, I want Boo Boo or Miss Watermelon down the street or whoever to get this house. And nobody can challenge that. They can challenge it, but it's not going anywhere. And not only that, in a trust, if you say you have 4 kids and one of them wants to challenge the trust, they are automatically written out. A judge cannot even overturn a trust. So that's why even Donald Trump don't pay but $750. You saw the video. He only pays $750 for taxes because he has everything he owns in a trust. Nobody can sue him and take that property. Nobody can take it. His children can't. It is in a trust, and no one can challenge it. Now, only body can change the trust is the person that made the trust while they're living. Once they're gone, they're gone, and the trust will stand. So I'm teaching that in my course on XI now, Success Academy Worldwide, because too many of our people have lost their homes. Or, matter of fact, I had a friend who had 4 kids, and he wanted his children to have his home. He passed away unexpectedly, and all 4 of his kids got lawyers. So guess who gets the money?
The lawyer.
If you don't have a will, your property goes into probate. The probate attorneys get money.
That's right.
The probate judges get money. The probate lawyers. Everybody that you got to get a lawyer. You can't sit down as a family and communicate. Okay, well, guess what? Mama and daddy worked their fingers to the bones so you could have a home, but you want to argue about it. So people, stop sitting on your hands and get your business in order. Everybody wants to live forever, but nobody will. You know, they say, the old saying say, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
That's true.
Okay? And I always talk to my godfather and I say, why is this? Why is that? He said, because people don't believe they're going to die. That's why they sit around on their hands and won't take care of business. Stop putting off what you could do today, waiting for tomorrow. Tomorrow may never come. It's not promised to you or me. And let me say this. When you don't take care of your business, the state of Oregon says if you won't take time and plan your estate, they'll plan it for you. And guess what? If you bought a house and you wanted to go here to your children or your grandchildren, it may not get to who you wanted it to go to because the state of Oregon is now in control and not you. So get on top of your business and stop sitting around waiting on somebody else to take care of your business, and stop saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I done seen so many people say stuff like that, and the next day they are gone. And the very people you say you don't want to have your stuff, guess who got it? Okay? That's real talk.
Well, that's a very really good. But see, you would think that maybe that the county could have something like that, or the city. I'm just saying any places that basically that's holding the deed. That's where I'm coming from. Could share it, if you will. But people don't get that kind of information. You got me? Because attorney, I mean, they'll a will. Everybody want to do the will thing. Got me?
Yes.
And then they'll put the names on there, this, that, and the other, and depending upon who's pushing it, gets the whole deal.
Yes.
But the trust do go through a whole sort of early on to just how it's written up, right? You know what I mean?
A trust has to be written by an attorney. An attorney has to file the trust through the courts.
Okay.
So that's why it cannot be revoked.
Okay.
See, a will, you can just pull out a piece of paper and say, I want cousin Boo Boo to get this and such and such and such.
It'll be challenged.
And it can be challenged. You know, many people have said, I'm feeling bad, whatever, and they pull out a piece of paper and write stuff down, and then somebody in the family said, well, you coerced them or such and such and such. And it doesn't have to be true that you coerced them. They just waited to the last minute to take care of business.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying stop it. Stop the madness.
Good point.
So I want to say, Bruce, if anyone has a home or something that is vacant, or they're not doing anything with, they want to sell it, or call me. If you don't know what to do with it, call me. Okay? If you don't have any children, any grandchildren, you don't have no family, call me. I'd be happy to turn it into a senior home and make it a place where some people can have a vibrant life, that they can live there and be comfortable and have a quality of life. There's so many people that's living sad from pillar to post, and like he said, people just pitching tits here in Portland. And you know, Bruce, I spend a lot of time in Shreveport, Louisiana last year. And Shreveport, Louisiana's downtown, it's like a ghost town.
Really?
And Portland is becoming a ghost. I never in my life, I said, when you go downtown Shreveport, it's like, how did this place get like this? You know, all these buildings, now the courthouse is still there, and some of the attorney buildings and stuff like that that's running, a few restaurants, but every other building is vacant.
Yeah.
And it's like a ghost town. Portland is becoming like that.
Well, we're trying to.
It's sad.
It is sad, but you know, you're right, and we're still at the point where we're trying to react to turn, make that turn. Okay, you got me.
Yes.
In fact, now there's a new presentation from the standpoint of the people who own the buildings downtown, and they will try to convert those into to housing for the homeless.
Yeah.
But the definition of what is it, fact or fiction?
Exactly.
Because a lot of times it's kind of like saying, well, I want to save my building first. That's the first thing. And then the money goes to that piece. And then on the other hand, if it is fact, then then what are you going to do? You're just going to give free dwellings to someone who says, I'm a homeless? I can go in there and say, I'm a homeless too. See what I'm saying? But see, in fact, right up front with you, we got a housing program for the city, and where they're supposed to basically provide housing for the low-income folks or whatever you don't have housing. It's a housing program, and a lot of times, a lot of folks get in, and then they get better, but guess what? Nobody vets them to get them out to let someone else come in. See, and that's a problem. See, and the other big problem is that everybody's pushing the deal about monies, getting in this big pot, and it's going bigger and bigger, if you will, for the homeless. But where's the money being spent? Where is it going? And everybody's just pocketing the money and not really dealing with the issue. You know, so there's a lot, and I've talked about this stuff on this show for many times over, aspect of it. But there's a possibility things might change here, because people are still aware of what's going on. Because people, especially the people who at one point in time, they were paying the taxes, but then the taxes started getting into that pleasure money. So I can't do what I used to do, right? So guess what? They're after my house now. Or the kids throwing me out the house. That kind of stuff. See, so people are kind of like trying to pay attention now. I just hope we have enough time to be able to catch it before it just goes down. Because I'm at my point. I'd love to go downtown and have a cup of coffee, sitting in the park or something like that, or reading a newspaper or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You got me?
Sure.
I mean, you can't go down there.
Yeah.
You can't even walk out night. You can't even go to the local grocery store and get you some milk. You got me? And even the rich folks are figuring that out too. You go down there and get in a Mercedes or something, drive at the 7-Eleven or something. Next thing you know, somebody's at there.
Carjacked.
You can be living in anywhere nowadays. They don't even go to the poor area anymore because they know the people.
No need.
There's no need. So anyway, this has just been great. This has been great, Sheila. You brought a lot to the table, and hopefully the people that are looking and listening and hearing what you're saying will share this with other folks.
Yes.
Very important. And I'll be right up front with Sheila. Is a very legitimate kind of personal aspect of it, because too often you got people that are trying to make money on the side, just waiting on the phone to do the hacking or whatever, this, that, and the other. So just like you mentioned about the fact of people are just losing their homes and this, that, and the other, and you said, well, look, just come on, I know what to do with it.
Sure.
I'll provide a home to someone, especially seniors and whatever. In fact, we even made an attempt. We kind of worked on a deal to go to the county and to try to get something together, aspect of it. And I was running for office, and the whole idea was to get those houses that were sitting up there that they picked up because of taxes and whatever. But you had folks there with the money that were just buying them cash and convert them to their own benefits aspect of it. Then, in all due respect, they basically cut off the meetings, if you will. And I know you had meetings with them and this, that, and the other, but there was nobody reaching out to say, let's take care of these seniors for housing. So we've been at the housing thing for a long time.
Sure.
So hopefully this will make people more aware of what's going down, and we can continue to do these kinds of shows. Give me some other pieces.
I know time is
We still got a couple minutes. Go ahead.
I want to say, when you talked about, I saw the news the other day, talking about making condos or apartments downtown. But you know what I want to say? We all seen what happened with the Wapato program. And so I want to say, we all went through that same situation when they took down the villa out there. They gave these people vouchers and sent everybody out to Gresham, telling them they gonna build all these homes and stuff like this. And when you get when they get done, they're going to move you back here. And I believe it was only 8 families. Out of 83 acres of land, there was only 8 families that was displaced from the villa out to Gresham. Only 8 families that were able to come back. And we all seen the Prospects, Portland, and all this stuff they keep talking about. And we're building this for these people and building that for these people. But then you turn around and the agenda, they got this and that and that and the other. If you had a family member that had a record, or if you've been incarcerated, they got or your credit's not right. They got all these reasons why you can't come back. But they didn't tell you that when they had you move. So we have to get on top of our business and educate ourselves and know what's to come. So these apartments that they're talking about building downtown, you said it. What you say is a smoke screen.
It's right. It's right. No, it's
so
a fact. That's
you
a fact.
Can talk. Hey, talking loud and saying nothing.
That's right.
If you say you're gonna do it, then do it. Do what you say you're gonna do, politicians.
And and real quick, like I'm not trying to knock on those people who owns those. They just basically know how to be able to tell the story to the people who are elected.
Exactly.
And the way, in many ways, they can do it by basically saying, "Well, I'm gonna support to get that person elected, so I can get my vote." Oh, I didn't want to go through that part of it. But anyway, but the bottom line is that, look, we got to do something about it. We want to get the city of Portland back, the city of Roses was in. Well, we're at the end of the day. This has been just great. I got to have you come on again, okay?
Thank you so much.
It's going to be great. This is going to be good. Good enough.
Amen.
Thanks again, folks. See you next week, okay? Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.